making a series of videos, I guess, because I often get asked about tunings and stuff like that. And I think it's just easier to kind of show you like a framework about how I think about tunings, and then when you look at what we do, if you care to look at what we do, or if you rather just take this knowledge for yourself and make your own music, which I honestly encourage. You know, I'm not here to advertise and show off like every Instagram video where it's like, look at me. It's more like, no, this is how I think about guitar, which I think is more important than accident in a way, because you know, this is what I do for fun too, and I'm sure a lot of you do as well. So if I could show you anything that makes your lives or whatever more interesting when you pick up this thing that you most likely also like to do, I think that's the whole point of this. So after I played in a first band with a drummer and bass player, and that broke up and I was by myself, I started playing in open tunings almost exclusively. I always dabbled and slide in open tunings, but I really started taking it a little bit more seriously. And what I noticed was that I was able to sound a lot better than I actually am. And what draws me to it is the timbre of the guitar and having like the slack of the strings. I don't usually play in standard tuning. This is an acoustic guitar. It is tuned to 440. I don't tune to 440, I tune to 432 hertz. These are light strings, so you know, if I were to play can't hear, or maybe it's just I'm too obsessive, but there's a little bit of buzz, and that's fine. To me, that's kind of part of the blues sound, if it is that you're playing blues. If you're not, you know, I guess it could get in the way if you're... But you know, you can get whatever sound you prefer and adjust string gauge and stuff. You guys are guitar players. You know, make those little decisions for yourself, and don't listen to other people that say, oh, you need to set up your action a certain way. You need to use heavy strings. You need to use a metal slide. You need to use a glass slide, ceramic, or whatever. The truth is that you're gonna have to maybe have a guitar, whether that be electric or acoustic, and you're gonna have to try everything. And you know, you spend maybe, I don't know, $100 on different slides and like a big thick pack of strings, and you know, I don't know, you know, don't drink as many beers that month or something. And I think in the long run, you experiencing these different things will help you solidify little decisions that will give you your sound. Okay, I'm ranting. This is not planned. Okay, 40 minutes. Okay, all right. So I think one of the first things you need to do before even like attempting to play anything a slide is pick a tuning. I recommend Open D. It's really nice. Open G is a little bit more Hawaiian, and a little bit kind of Rolling Stones-y. And to me, it's a little bright, and I don't like it. I don't like Open E at all. That said, with Open G, I really do like the interval that the strings are tuned a little bit more. So the difference that you would have would be, I wouldn't have this high string, and I'd have a fifth below this one, which is how I tune my guitar for some of the accident stuff, open E flat, and I have a low B flat. But overall, the timbre of this D is closer to what my ear is drawn to. And again, like, you play an open D, and maybe if you use heavier strings, you can capo up the fret, maybe up to fret number 3. On electric, you have a little bit more room down here, so it's a little bit more feasible. But yeah, so you tune your guitar to open D, you know, look it up. D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. It's pretty easy. I have an 11 on this, so not too heavy. And what I think you want to do is start thinking about where the chords are and where notes are. And there's really two things, right? There's like blues playing, where you want to slide, forget about the slide, and then maybe you want to do that shit. And then, you know, at least be able to play a 12-bar blues of some sort. You pick your turnaround. Think about notes. You know, there's plenty of stuff there. Listen to Blind Willie Johnson. You really have to train your ear, and you have to know what it sounds like before you start trying to play it, because when you stumble across notes and you're experimenting, you'll know, like, oh, that sounds like so and so, or whatever. Second thing, I think there's a little bit more of the folky thing. Think like I don't know, Bob Dylan, Blood on the Tracks. I think he recorded everything in open D. There's other players, I'm sure. I can't, his name is blanking out my mind. Richard Thompson. Yeah, that he does a lot of cool non-bluesy stuff. Also, like, more contemporary, Blake Mills tunes to open C sharp, which is half step lower than this, and he's got a song called If I'm Unworthy that has a lot of cool licks that kind of mixes blues and more like folky stuff, and it's pretty cool. So in standard tuning, I think, or not in standard tuning, and just like non-blues guitar playing in this tuning, I think the most important thing is knowing where the 1, 4, 5 chords are. So about so many songs that you can play and that you can hum to yourself in that. I like this shortcut where, you know, I have the 5th string at the 2nd fret and then the 3rd string at the 1st fret, and that kind of gives you a 4 chord, and then you slide that up so you can, you know, have a closer position and it doesn't sound so, you want to do. So easy chords, start with that minor chord, got B minor. That's super easy. You want to play your 5th fret, your 5th string at the 2nd fret, and 2nd string at the 2nd fret. You got yourself a little B minor there, relative minor. What other chords are, oh, this one's super easy. You got yourself E minor there. So you're gonna play like an A minor shape here, starting at the 5th string. And then I usually use a middle finger to cover the, let's call it fifth string and fourth string, second fret, and then index finger, first string, first fret. Now wrap my thumb on the low string at the second fret. So you got minor chords there that go with everything there, so you can slide up. So chords like that. Mess around with scales. So yeah, just some recommendations, and then maybe I'll go over slide stuff down. This is probably a terrible lesson, not intended for beginners, probably more for people who are familiar with the guitar enough. Yeah, so hopefully I don't sound patronizing or anything. If you have any hateful comments, go ahead and leave them. Usually they make me laugh. Or they probably would, because, you know, nobody gives a shit about what I'm doing. So, anyways, I'll make another one down the road. This is already way too long.